Hello everybody, this will be my review for Venom Let There Be Carnage. There will be no spoilers in this video, so let's get into it. Now, this movie truly feels like a sequel to the first Venom movie because it has the same vibe, the same tone, and many of the same elements of the previous film. Now, I did really have a blast watching this movie, and I think basically that is because I really love the first Venom movie. I know some people didn't love it so much, but a lot of people did and really went to see it because it made about 800 millions at the best and the box office. It was a huge success. So, and I think that is most of it. Because of that, I really enjoy this movie a lot more, and I think this one is better than the first Venom movie. I think it's not perfect. It's not really a great movie, but I think it has more of the same of the previous one. But this one it has more better things, and especially it has more of Venom, and that was one of my critique of the first Venom movie. It they didn't really show up Venom so much. It was basically most of the time Eddie Brock, but this movie is not the case. So I really have a fun time watching this movie. It really is entertaining to watch. And let's go to Tom Hardy. Now, Tom Hardy, he really loved this character, and I can see his passion on screen with his portrayal, and he's involved in the story of this movie. When you see the movie, it has a story credit. He's also a producer, so he is very involved in this movie, and I think he really does a phenomenal job as Venom. He really he really understands the character. So, and basically he can carry the whole movie alone, like he did basically in the first one. So one of the things that I really like is the connection between Eddie and Venom, and we get a lot more of that in this one. And I think that is because that's one of the elements that people really like about the first Venom movie, and I really love that. And we get to see they adjusting to live with each other, and try to help each other, but they're both very different. And Venom just want to go out there and be like a vigilante, a superhero, and but eat people. And Eddie doesn't want him to eat people. And I really love the bond together. It's a bromance, and it really works well for the film. Now let's move to another thing, Carnage and Shriek. Now I really like them when they are together in this movie, like this insane couple, basically destroying and murdering everything around them, and they really show me of the romance between Carnage and Shriek, and that's basically because of the performance of Woody Harrelson and Naomi Harris. So that was really good. Also, now let's talk about especially about Naomi Harris as Shrink. Now, I have some critique here because I think she really went for it for her character and did some creative things that I really like. But the problem is that she doesn't have really much to do in this movie, and that's basically one of my one and only critique because I think uh, she did portray the character well, but she doesn't have much to do in the movie, and that really hurts her character. Now let's move on to Woody Harrelson as Carnage. I think Woody Harrelson as Carnage is very good. He really kills as Carnage in the role. The I really like his performance, but it was distracting because of the hairstyle. In the first couple of minutes of the film, he he has a he has a really good haircut, but then by when the movie continues, he has another look, another haircut, and I don't know, it doesn't feel right for him, and it's a bit distracting. So that's my critique here. Also, now let's move on to Stephen Graham. Now he plays a detective here, and when he's introduced very early on in the movie, maybe you would think that okay, maybe he's just here by one or two scenes, but no, he really is in a lot of portion of this movie, and his role here is very significant to the story. So it was really great to see him. Now let's move on to director Andy Serkis. Now I think Andy Serkis he does a good job directing this movie, and basically it helps the movie in terms of some of the shots of the movie. It really feels really great, very stylish in some cases, but I like it because the visual effects and the circus was for many years with mocap and CGI and visual effects on characters. So that really helps this movie. I think the visual effects. I mean, they're not perfect, but they're really great for Venom and Carnage. Especially, I found them better than the first Venom movie. So that's a plus here. And now let's talk about the tone. Now I have some critique with the tone of this movie because it basically more of the same of the previous movie, but it doubles down on the silly elements. And in some cases it works, and in some cases it doesn't. The jokes didn't really land for me. Some of them, not all of them. And the other critique that I have is the script. I think, I mean, this is not going to be like a really big story or something like Oscar material. But I think the script needed to be a little bit more refined. I think that would have helped the movie to be a little more funny and have some many good scenes. And that's the other thing is the runtime of this movie. This movie is 19 minutes long, one, 1.5 hour, and I think that was in favor of the movie because some some jokes and some things didn't really land, but the movie is happening so quickly that there's already jumping to the next thing. So I think that really helps this movie and the pacing. Basically, because the plot of this movie is very simple. I mean, uh, Eddie Brock versus Cassidy, Cassidy, the person because Cassidy only wants to talk to Eddie and he exchange of information because Cassidy is Carnage and he wants to get a message out in the world, and that is why he's using Eddie Brock. And of course, later on, he escaped from prison, and basically, but Venom has to deal with that. With Cassidy, there is now Carnage, and it's not spoiler. It was in the trailer, so that's basically the plot of this movie. Very simple. Now, let's talk about the action. I think the action here is great. It's definitely way better than the first movie. And the other thing is the third act. Now, the third act of this movie is a really big CGI, like most superhero movies these days. But I think it really was. They did a really great job balancing having Carnage and Venom fighting, but switching over to Eddie and Cassidy, and you have the the human element present, and I think it helps the movie because it's not like a really big CGI of the time fight. And the other thing is way better than the third half of the first Venom movie. There was just a splash of CGI, and you're not really sure what, what you were looking at the screen. But in this movie, it's not the case. It's way better, way better. And of course, there is a post-credit scene. I won't spoil here, but I only say that the post-credit scene is awesome, and a lot of people are going to talk about it. And I will be making a video of the post-credit scene separate. And so that's it. That's my. I think the Venom Leather Be Carnage is a fun, entertaining movie, and I think you should really watch it in theaters, especially if you really like the first Venom. You are going to enjoy this one. So that's my review for Venom Leather Be Carnage. Consider subscribe to the channel and let me know what you think about the movie if you've seen the movies in the comments below. And thank you for watching. So see you guys later.